So hi there, my name is Brent Smith and I'm the Common Constitutionalist. Welcome to the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Video Podcast. And I've kind of been sick as a doggy. Excuse me, I've been sick as a doggy do past few days, like clockwork. Every year I get sick for 2 or 3 days and then it's gone and I don't get anything else for another year, and it's always the same time in the winter, within a month or so of each time. So at any rate, it's colder than a witch's you-know-what outside, so I'm just going to do this video. I vowed to do a video podcast this week. I don't want to have to do the stupid audio again. So anyway, there you go. That's also why I look like caca warmed over. Or maybe that's the way I always look. Who knows? So anyway, today's video podcast is entitled The Trump Phone Call, A Look Back. And that's what I'll be discussing today on the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Video Podcast. Be right back.
You're watching the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Video Podcast.
Okay, I am back. July 25th, 2019. Remember that? Yes, I do. Trump-Ukraine president phone call. Ah, yes. Trump withheld aid money from the Ukraine until they reopened the investigation into Burisma and Hunter Biden. Remember that? Everybody should remember that, because the Democrats have been hounding us about this for 6 months. Oh, it had nothing at all to do with Trump wanting the Ukrainians to clean up their own government and their own act, weed out their own deep state corrupt politicians and bureaucrats. No, that had nothing at all to do with it. I mean, why should we give, why should we give a nickel any more money at all to this government that is they already can't account for about $7 billion in lost aid money, okay? Yeah, it was just lost. Right. You know, that happens to me. It probably happens to you, but it happens to me every week. Where did I put the 7 billion? I know, I just had it. It's like Uncle Billy on It's a Wonderful Life with the string around his finger. 7 billion I put it down, and what did I do with it? Oh well, it'll turn up or not. So, you know, come on, we expect to believe that nonsense? No. But according to the Dems and the press, who are obviously one and the same, Trump wasn't interested in the Ukrainians cleaning up their act. No, of course not. That the United States was basically just throwing money down a crap hole, and no one seemed to care about where it ended up. To this day, most people don't seem to care about where that $7 billion went. That's a lot of money, folks. That's a lot of money. No, that wasn't it at all. No, it wasn't about the Ukrainians cleaning up their act. That's not what the phone call was. It was that his numero uno, little Mexican, little Spanish lingo, political rival Joe the tough guy, Biden, be tainted by an investigation. That was the only purpose of Trump's phone call, July 25, 2019, a date that will live in infamy. Oh, brother. Last year, I actually heard some leftist reporter say that how dare Trump go after Biden's children, Hunter Biden. Children? Really? I mean, this struck me as so stupid, I couldn't even believe it. It's not like Barron Trump, who's, I think he's, what, 12 or 13 years old, something like that. Hunter Biden is like 50. He's our age. It's just, holy crap. Please don't drag the children into this mess. Right, okay. And yeah, Trump was afraid of freaking Joe Biden. Yes, what a scary guy. That's the charge. And that's what got this whole impeachment ball rolling, right? Well, actually, no, it wasn't even close to that, as we all know now, or we sure, unless you've been living under a rock, you should know this stuff, at least most of it. What actually got the impeachment ball rolling was the prospect that Trump might actually beat Hillary Clinton and become the president. That's how long the Dems, the bureaucrats, and the entrenched deep state, and don't forget the media, have been wanting Trump gone from before he was even elected. And that is the most, every time, I mean, we repeat that, but we don't really think about it in terms of the severity of the situation, that these people could be planning his impeachment, and it's on video where some elected election people on the Democrat side are actually planning on what to do if Trump gets elected, that he could actually, they've got to drum up some sort of crime to get him out of office. And remember the insurance program. I mean, all this stuff is just unbelievable. It is, in fact, the crime of the century that we don't even discuss for the most part. So just think about it. And if you are thinking about this, you're unfortunately one of the only ones doing so. Democrat operatives have been trying, and again, I can't stress this enough, Democrat operatives have been trying to concoct an impeachment scenario from before the president was even the president. It's just absolutely insane. It's insane, and it's frankly astounding that something that has basically gotten lost in this whole fiasco, frankly. And think about how low down this has gotten. And it's gotten little press, especially lately, now that the Ukraine thing and the phone call, and now the whole impeachment saga and the theatrics of it, and all this stuff has taken front stage, and everything that's gone before it is just old news, it's history, we don't need to cover it again. But the right should be banging this drum every single day, that this impeachment fiasco began before the president was even the president. And that is insane on its face. It's just unbelievable. And hell, frankly, we should make it into like a meme, like the Epstein didn't kill himself nonsense. And that's kind of funny, not ha-ha, that everyone is so all-fired concerned about this dirtbag Epstein's case, but no one seems to be interested in the actual crime of the century, trying to remove a sitting president and conspiring to do so even before the son of a gun was elected. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't even understand. It's like some weird Grisham or Clancy novel, and I don't even know that anybody could write this, to be honest with you. It's so weird and convoluted. So I'm going to I'll take a break, and I'll be right back.
You're watching the Common Constitutionalist video podcast.
Yeah, baby!
Okay, I am back. Now remember, this is a truncated weekend video podcast since, like I said, I'm just getting over a cold, and I'm still feeling the effects of it, and I'm just kind of worn down, and I've unfortunately got a bunch of stuff that's built up that I need to get done this weekend. That's my boo freaking who for me. That's my tale of woe. Like I'm the only one that's ever gotten sick or something. I don't do well when I'm sick because I just don't get sick. So when I do, it kicks my butt. It's an unusual circumstance. Whatever. So remember when we found out that Burisma was being investigated by the Ukrainians from before 2016? And then in February 2016, Burisma that is, went to the Obama deep state so they could put a stop to the Ukrainian investigation. Gee, I wonder why they did that. I don't know. It wasn't all about just Hunter Biden. It was about $7 billion and all that other stuff that just kind of went missing, and we don't know whose coffers it ended up in. May never know, frankly. Then in March of 2016, remember these times, not the specific dates. Then in March of 2016, our deep state department, the Obama deep state department, by sheer coincidence, started pressuring to have the Ukraine prosecutor Viktor Shokin removed. Recall that? And then came tough guy proclamation from Sheriff Joe Biden, Sheriff Joe, to fire Shokin or he wouldn't get the $1 billion in loan guarantees. That Joe Biden, he's one tough hombre. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the outlaw Josie Wales. That's right.
Why, you're gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie?
All right, I'm back. Love that Josie Wales. Oh, Josie Wales. You don't want to get up all them pistols, pard. All right, sorry. I love that. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, he's tough as nails, bro. Okay, so John Solomon wrote that quote, whatever the case, the corruption investigations were dropped in late 2016 and early 2017, and Burisma paid a simple penalty for tax issues, quote unquote. Okay? So Sheriff Joe made his proclamation, pulled them pistols or whistle Dixie, bro. And voila, the case was just basically dismissed and they had to pay some jive-ass penalty. And they probably got the penalty money from us, from the United States taxpayer. Yee doggies, what a deal. And so we know exactly what Solomon says, whatever the case, we know what the case was. Corruption, bribes, threatening, the whole deal. Everything that they've accused Trump and the Republicans of, that's what they do, because Democrats and leftists project all the time, okay? Project evil, not good, evil. So then, that was it, right? End of story. It was all over. It was a dead issue until the infamous phone call of July 25th, 2019, the most infamous phone call in the history of all mankind. Trump, Ukrainian President Zelensky, right? Trump threatened Zelensky with everything but genocide to investigate Hombre Joe's son. Yeah, hombre. Yeah. And that's the way it went, right? Yeah, sure. Trump demanded that Burisma Biden investigation be reopened, okay? Despite the fact that there's absolutely no evidence to that, and everybody who's there said, yep, never happened. But anyway, we know it did. We just know. The one guy, the investigation be reopened after it was dormant for 2 years, since late 2016, early 2017. That dirty, rotten Trump. But wait, that's not at all what happened. Not even close. So, and this is the interesting thing that isn't getting reported as of late as we go into the silly-ass impeachment stuff. Excuse my français. My hombre. Get it? Solomon again reported that, quote, but in early 2019, remember, phone call July, that's mid-2019. Quote, in early 2019, NABU, not from Star Wars, the NABU, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, and the Ukrainian Prosecutor's General's Office announced they were what was that? They were reopening the investigation into Burisma specifically to revisit allegations of money laundering. So they were reopening the investigation early. That's like February, March of 2019. Trump's phone call demanding that they reopen the investigation was in July of 2019. Is there some kind of disconnect here, I ask? That's what I wrote. There you go. How could President Trump demand an investigation be reopened in July 2019 when an investigation had already been opened 6 months earlier, 2019? The answer is he wouldn't, it wouldn't, he didn't, and it didn't, because it was already open. And that's the name of that tune. So all this nonsense is basically that the left, it goes back to the same old thing. The left hates Trump. The left hated that he got elected. Not that Hillary lost, is that Trump won. Nobody likes Hillary. Come on. I mean, the fact that she says that thousands of people are clamoring for her, begging her to run. Really? Honestly? Do you want to get beaten like a dead horse twice by Trump? Are you kidding me, man? That would be... It would be entertaining from this perspective, but for the country, it would be just whatever. What a waste of bloody time. And so we went from Russian hacking to Russians changing votes, which not a single vote was changed from Russian hacking. That's been proven. Then we went to Russian collusion, the Mueller's nonsense. Obstruction of justice, and then we went to colluding with Ukrainians, obstruction of justice, you know, Trump being just generally a bully, disliked by all. And now we end up with obstruction of Congress, and I can't remember what the other thing is, but they're both bullcrap. So I want to see all this kind of stuff come out in the trial. I want to get the whistleblower up there. And it's funny the way still nobody on television will mention this guy's name, this Charamella guy. Everybody knows who the whistleblower is. It's just that person who will be unnamed. It's just silly ass. That's all it is. So that's all I've got. My name is Brent Smith. See, just getting over it. I am the common constitutionalist. Hopefully I'll be better next week. Hopefully it won't be like 10 degrees outside and threatening to snow again. And I can get outside and actually entertain y'all. Okay, so I'm going to pull them pistols and whistle Dixie. See you.